Good morning, my friend. It is Wednesday morning, March the 10th. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. And we're doing good over here at Maranatha Baptist Church, getting ready for the Old Paths Conference next week. On my conference table, just right over there, as I'm looking at it right now, we have some things. I have my new books in. All three books have come in now. Getting ready to introduce them at the Old Paths Conference. Excited about that. Have some of the giveaways and everything that we got ready going. I'm looking forward to everything that needs to get done. And I hope that if you could come, we'd love to have you come. Bring your family. It'll still be good for the whole family. I think every person ought to go. I remember as a boy, I would go. My dad took me to conferences with him. And some of the best days that I got to spend with my dad was at these conferences. And spending time with your parents at a conference, having God speak to your heart, are memorable times that you'll never forget. And mom and dad, you need to make sure that you're at a conference. Maranatha Baptist Church next week, March 15, 16, 17. You need to be there for especially every night service. But if you can come for the daytime, the teaching time, so it's going to be a wonderful time. If you've not yet registered, I would ask you to register. If you're not from Maranatha Baptist Church, please register at our church website, attendmbc.org/OPC as an Old Paths Conference. That'll help us to prepare for you. Looking forward to a great crowd next week. And I'm excited about what God's going to do. I know God's even stirring my heart and what I'll be teaching and preaching myself. And I hope that you would come, be a part of it, and see what God can do in your heart. Pray for us, even if you're not coming. Pray for us, if you would. People are asking, are we live streaming? No, we're not. I'm not big on live streaming services. I think there's something about being there, something about the atmosphere of it, something about taking the sacrifice to come. I'm not against those who do it. I'm not saying anything against them. It's just me. This is Alan Donnelly talking. And this is why I don't like to live stream our services. I believe that when God says not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, there's something about coming together instead of sitting at home watching it. And I think it's important that we do that. I know that I know there's missionaries across the globe that would love to be able to be a part, and they can't come. I get that. And for that, I'm sorry, but this is just what my philosophy has been and my principle. And just be patient with me. I'm not against it. It's just what I feel. And I hope that you get that right there. I'd like to read to you this morning from Jeremiah 17:7 concerning the blessings of trusting God, where it says, "Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is." The fact that God commands a believer to trust him means this. It means there's going to be times in your life when it seems as though God could be wrong or is nowhere to be found. However, though it may seem that God is wrong or is nowhere to be found, he is never wrong and he is always with you. Don't ever forget that. The two key words in this verse I just read to you that you have to understand so you can understand the blessings of God the first word is blessed. To be blessed means to be happy. In other words, God is saying that the person who trusts him is a happy person. In other words, you don't look to the external for happiness when you trust the Lord, but you find your happiness and joy in the Lord when you trust him. The reason you're happy when you trust the Lord is because you're only looking to him for your happiness and joy. In other words, it won't matter what is going on in your world or in the world around you when you are trusting God, because you found your joy is in God in spite of what is going on around you. Now, the second key word is the word trusteth. The word means to trust God continually. In other words, trusteth means to trust and to continue trusting. God is showing that word trusteth it's in the linear, the ETH, in the linear. In other words, I'm trusting and I trust and I trust and I trust. That's what it means to trusteth. And God's saying this. He goes, if you expect the blessing from trusting God to come immediately, God says you will quickly stop trusting him because God doesn't always give his blessings immediately. Now, three results come from trusting God. First, when you trust God or trusteth God, you'll never be disappointed with God. But you'll never be disappointed by trusting God. I'd rather trust God and be criticized by man than to trust man and find that man's ways are wrong. In all the years that I've served the Lord, I have never found God not to bless me for trusting in him. No, trusting him didn't always give me the immediate results I wanted. But he blessed me because I continued to trust him when I didn't see the way. If the only thing that comes from trusting God is that you're holding on to him, the fact that you're in his presence is the greatest blessing of all. Second, you will find yourself secure when you trust in God. Verse 8 says, for he shall be as a tree planted by the waters. Trusting God calms the mind. It removes anxiety in your life when you trust God because he gives perfect peace to those who trust in him. Third, you'll find that you'll be grounded in what you're doing when you trust in God. Verse 8 continues to say, and that spreadeth out her roots by the rivers. In other words, when you trust God, you're not looking for the way out, for you've already found the way in, and that way is God. You're not looking for anything else. God promises in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 that he'll direct your ways through whatever you face as long as you trust him. Now, the greatest blessing about trusting God is that he will bless you in troubled time. Verse 8 shows the result of trusting God when it says, and shall not be careful in the year of drought. And here it is. Neither shall cease from yielding fruit. Get this now. The most fruitful times of your life are always found when you're trusting God in those times that demand that God's way is not right. Did you get that? There's times in your life when it says God's not right, but when you trust him, that's when you yield fruit. That's when God begins to bless, is when you're doing right in spite of. God says that's where the blessings begin to come. Now, my friend, the greatest blessings of your life are obtained by trusting God. Get this, in the troubled times. Whatever you do, never stop trusting God. You'll never be disappointed when you continue to trust God. I hope this is a help to you. Don't forget church tonight, midweek service. Be in the place where you go to church tonight for your services. And then remember this, be good to everybody because everybody's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.